This is Solus44. How are you? How's everything going? It's good to see everybody. This is Galactic Chickens, and today we're going to start looking at a little bit of immersive engineering, I think. I'm inside of a compact machine. On the previous videos, I've made a bunch of compact machines. I'm not really going to use them that much. I really determined that they might be used to move some of the stuff out in my overworld into them. Or maybe to move some noisy stuff into them, because that's a really good way of just canceling out loud noisy stuff. If I had a mechanism in this mod pack, which we unfortunately do not have that mod in here, and there's reasons for it, but we have chickens, we have outer space, all kinds of stuff like that. The more noisy stuff, if it's inside of a compact machine, it doesn't make any noise, and then you can just have the imports and exports going into the compact machines. I think that's sort of the idea, was to make your machine stuff inside this miniature dimension 144, and yeah, that's what we're doing. First thing you're going to do when you're going to go for immersive engineering is make a coke oven and engineer's hammer. So let's go ahead and take a look at that process. So typing in coke in the JEI select here, you're going to run across coke brick. There's also reinforced coke brick, but coke brick's what you want. And in order to make that, you're going to need to collect up quite a bit of clay. Okay, so it's a 3x3x3 block, 3x3, and then three layers, right? 3x3x3 block. So you're going to have to get quite a bit of coke, or clay. So clay is your main thing. And then sand, it can be any red sandstone or any sandstone at all. It doesn't matter what kind. So you would just take your sand. I have mine on AutoCraft. Make it into a corner piece like this, and you'll get sandstone. See? Oop, there you go. Sandstone. And there's not a whole lot of uses other than that, but you're going to use the coke brick. Layer the coke. What the? Did it just eat my gluttony charm? Oh, wow. So basically you're gonna take your coke brick and you're gonna make this 3x3x3 cube. And then let's go ahead and show you the hammer. Take the hammer. Engineer's hammer from Immersive Engineering. 2 pieces of iron, a string, and 2 sticks. So those are all fairly super early game. Then you'll right click the middle block and it'll open up this weird looking deal that has a graphic user interface. And then you put coal in here. Now it can't work as far as I know with charcoal. It does have to be regular coal. At this point I have my chickens producing tons of coal, and so instead of just using charcoal or little single pieces of coal, I have it using blocks of coal. And what will happen is you put it in the input side, and then the output side here you'll get coal coke. Coal coke burns longer, lasts longer, all that other stuff. This tank will also fill up with creosote oil. On this side here, I have attached an exporter from Refined Storage, exporting blocks of coal with a crafting upgrade. Now, for those that want to know how this works, so the exporter exports from the grid to the item it's attached to. Then you tell it either items or fluids. Okay. Then you tell it your damage to monitor. You can also tell it on and off with the redstone signal, so you could control it remotely with the redstone signal if you would like. That can come in big creative handy. And then you tell it the item. Now if you have this crafting upgrade in there, it will if you have a crafting pattern in the system to make the item, it will attempt to craft the item automatically so that it can export it as the crafted item. And that's how I have it set up in here. If I go coal, I have one constant thing of coal, and it's always being made to be put inside of the coal coke oven. Otherwise, I just have regular coal. I could use that. Okay. So coal coke will be your output. Now these are variants of coal coke because they can be used as quite nice looking blocks. Really, they can be chiseled into different various types of blocks. But your main output is going to be a block of coal coke, this right here. Or actually it's going to be this. These are what you're going to get. Now, there's an advanced coal coke oven, which is actually faster and more powerful and can be heated up with a little bit of power. And I want to point out that this, if you look, goes from 16,000 to 32,000 ticks per coal coke piece. So you're going to get like double the length of the burn time, and that's really handy early on because you're going to be using a lot of coal for fuel, and it burns a lot longer, and it gives you more power if you're using some form of furnace to power your base. It also makes creosote oil, and that creosote oil is then used to make treated wood. Right here, treated wood planks. Let's see, wait, treated wood. Interesting. I don't want the planks. I want the... Okay, I don't know what's going on with this, but this is getting frustrating with that, moving me here. So let's go treated. And as you can see, I have it set for autocraft. And it should have showed that in the actual here. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so you just take a bucket and you surround it with planks of various kinds, and it will get you treated wood planks. That should have shown last time. I guess it didn't want to. That can be then used to make the engineer's workbench, wooden wall mounts, which I love these wall mounts. They look really good. And treated sticks. The treated sticks are used to make your various steel cables, hemp ropes, redstone wire coils. Basically your cables that you would use like conduits to transmit things from one location to another, like a redstone signal, or power, or even just as a decoration. And you use it to make scaffolding, and you definitely need it to make engineering wire cutters, which those wire cutters then help you to make your various different maintenance kits, all your different types of wires, all the way up until you can get a more advanced machine called a metal press, which is going to be what you're probably going to be looking at doing if you're just running, you know, immersive engineering by itself. Personally, I don't usually go any farther than the coke oven because it's just going to run all the time. I put this little chunk loader in here, spot chunk loader. I might move it to here. It should load this chunk since this is stationed within a chunk. This is one chunk. Now there is an area outside of this right here. I think this is outside the chunk. So I just keep everything within the chunk. So there's your coke oven. And as you can see, it's really slow. But you're looking at doubling the speed of, or doubling the efficiency of your coal. And you're talking about getting more your creosote oil. And then you're also looking at this. The burn time on these, I think, is longer. Maybe. I don't know why it's acting like that. They might burn longer as well. You're getting a lot of items. Just put it that way. So let's go ahead and make some treated wood. Now, let me cover what I did here to automate this. I use an importer. Okay. On the side of these blocks, usually you can just suck things out of them and push things into them. There's no real way of telling where to go with it. It could be top, could be bottom. I don't know if it works in the corners, but I know that it does work on the bottom here. So this importer here is just set for blank import. And that's importing items, so that's going to be importing my coal coke. This one is set for fluids, so that's going to be importing my creosote oil that comes over here. Now, I'm going to leave this compact machine and show you what's happening to that coal coke and that creosote oil. So, in order for this to work, you've got to be able to have a storage tank or something for it to go. Right now I have 40 buckets of creosote oil, and that's because I have these fluid storage discs. So I'll pretty much have plenty of room. I have some various things that are inside the storage that I can or can't use, I don't know. But with refined storage, you can just set up a pattern for treated wood like this. Oops. Right here, and it's going to go ahead and make this, like, I already have it set up to do a bucket of creosote oil like this. So it knows what to do. So it's going to craft the creosote oil bucket, then surround that bucket with wood planks, and this is just telling you what it needs to use. And I also have it set up so that it knows how to make the buckets, so it makes buckets automatically, and then puts those inside the fluid transposer, etc. There's going to be a lot of things I need to make. I don't need our dictionary for this, but I'll just leave it on. I want to be able to make scaffolding, and I want to be able to make the treated sticks. I already have that set up. I want to be able to make treated fence. And what else do I want? Treated planks have a little bit of a variety of looks to them. I'm not a big treated wood. I don't really use treated wood. Apparently you can use treated wood in Tinkers now. And so that way you can actually get some very, very early on armor with, you know, it's not the best. But with modifiers, you could probably make it into something decent if you had it, the inclination to do so. And so I'm going to show you the things that I already started doing. There you go. You have your wooden barrels, you have your wall mounts, and you have windmill blades, which is going to be the early ones for most people. I think they'd like to go with the windmill. And I have lanterns, and I have the conveyor belts. So these are all real early game immersive engineering stuff that you can do as long as you have just coal and those coke bricks. So a little bit of clay, well, quite a bit of clay, and some coal, and you can get yourself going with immersive engineering. Now, immersive engineering has a really good book that helps you guide you through the processes. And in fact, to be honest with you, oops, let's just go ahead and do it this way. To be honest with you, you have to have it unless you've memorized these multi-block structures that are available to you. Because if you notice, there's a lot of immersive. So let's just hit at immersive. The person that designed this mod pack did a fabulous job of creating various blocks and made a lot of use out of them. That's what I appreciate the most, is when you make a block, make it useful for a lot of things. This automatic lubricator just looks neat. That's the thing too, is a lot of them look like. Then I also included in this mod pack in Galactic Chickens the Immersive Petroleum. So that should let you be able to do portable generators, lubricators. You have your turrets, floodlights, kinetic dynamos. I often start myself off by getting to this thermoelectric generator. I'm not going to do it, but you have to get yourself Constantin. Once you get yourself to Constantin, which is nickel, nickel and copper, and that becomes Constantin, you can then make it into ingots. Take those ingots with the engineer's hammer to get you Constantin plates. This thermoelectric generator is amazing, because on one side you place something cold, the other side you place something hot. Out the top produces electricity. Boom. You get your RF out the top. Then you just have to connect wires to it, and you can stack these in a series and get a very large amount of power that can pretty much run absolutely everything. You have your charging station, which I used to use a lot to charge up like my building gadgets and things like that, because it's pretty early on. Your biggest issue is going to be creating a ton of these copper copper wires. And as you can see, this a shears or engineered cutting wires, and I have tons of shears. Yeah, yep, super easy. So if I was to go wire, I haven't really done this yet, but let me explain why you do not want to use an auto crafting situation with the engineers cutting wires. Just go ahead and make one set. Whoops. Let's go ahead and make a set so I can explain this. So I don't normally make these. I usually just use regular Minecraft shears. And then you have to use a plate. So let's go ahead and plate. And we're going to go steel. Okay, so there you go, steel wire. Immediately you'll notice that it turned green. It gained metadata. Okay, so it gained information on it that will disrupt a craft, even in applied energistics. What will happen is this now plus one of these, we know what it equals, right? It equals this. However, it's going to look for this exact metadata, and that's regardless of whether I have OR dictionary on or not. It does not ignore it. And so what will happen is if you put a shears or these wire cutters for like these mana steel will work too, right? Actually it should work. Oh well, it doesn't really care. Let's try shears. All right, it's going to use it once, and then it's going to get that metadata, and then the system is going to say, all right, well, in order for me to create this one single piece of freaking wire, let's go ahead and craft another set of shears. Use it once, and then let's go ahead and craft another set of shears. Then use it once, if you get what I'm going at here. So I crafted a stack of wire, and I end up with a stack of shears. And then it'll never, and that goes every single time I create a single wire, and it'll just keep on doing that. So yeah, that's kind of garbage, but that's just how it works. You're gonna have to do what I do, I think, and well, that really should work. So I guess that's broken. I make a stack at a time. Just put it away. It's kind of meh. It lasts long enough. It really does. And if I go to the plates, I haven't got enough plates on AutoCraft, but I know I'm going to need wire, iron. I just make a bunch, you know. So shears, and then wire cutters. There you go. Oh, iron plates. There's no iron wire. I'm a doofy. Okay. So plate-wise, if there's no other way of doing it, making copper plates and things like that is easy. Just to, you know, create a press, and immersive engineering comes with its own press and its own casts to make them. However, unfortunately, well, fortunately for us, we have thermal, and thermal has a machine called a compactor that will make plates. So if I tell it to do that, it'll make plates. It's pretty quick. Also, there's also, oh, there you go. That's your metal press. I'm not going to do that. I don't need to do it, but what you could do is have it drop the gold onto the conveyor as it goes underneath. The top piece detects it, and if you have the correct mold, it creates the plate, and then it drops off the back side, and you just use conveyors to move it around. Pretty simple autocraft, and then just a collector on the other side. You can also cast with the tinkers if you really wanted to take that long, because that's slower than slow. But I use the compactor. I have a compactor downstairs, I believe. But I don't know, maybe I don't. Let's take a look. Plate. PL8. Oh wow, that's just a regular iron plate. So do I not have a compactor? I'm going back and forth between so many mod packs right now that I thought I had a compactor. Maybe I don't. No, I do. I just don't have any. Let's go ahead and set those up. Let's go set those up. All right, so let's go ahead and go with the most common one used for immersive engineering. That's going to be a copper, I believe. Set this to processing mode, and I'm going to use OR dictionary. Yeah, I'm going to leave OR dictionary on. So let's go ahead and go copper. 1 ingot makes it gold. Let's go ahead and do that. And T10. Tin might be a thing. And I know that constant tin is one. And steel. Where's steel? Steel is going to be the most common thing you're trying to get with immersive engineering. That's kind of like what you're working your way towards, is getting steel. Immersive engineering pushes you in that direction. Pretty much that's it. So I can make 9. Let's go ahead and go with, I already have iron plates. Apparently you can just craft those. That's why I had that made already. Tin, silver, lead. I just did lead, right? Let's go ahead and do lead. Lead plates. And is bronze. Electrum. Yes, electrum is another one. So let's make sure we have electrum. All right. Let's go ahead and go down to our compact machine, our compactor, I mean, and place our craft patterns in here. Once again, it tells you input this, output that, and that leaves us with 2 more. So let's see what else we're gonna make. I'm right-clicking on these plates, and I'm just looking at the top bars here to see what items can be made from it. And if it looks like it can be used for immersive engineering, I went ahead and I'm making it. Nickel. See, nickel shows that it needs plates. So nickel's 1. There we go. Nickel. 1 more left. Aluminum. Oh, yep. Aluminum. Did I make aluminum? Nope. So aluminum. Very common. There you go. And that should be it. Well, at least that's all that can fit in that crafter. You can use two crafters on a single machine. I don't recommend it, but it is possible if you want to be able to make more than one thing. But yeah, good luck, because it can get confused. And so there we go. All right, now that we can make these plates all we want, you'll see it show up when I type in plate. Now we can make all these different types of plates. We're going to go ahead and teach the machine. I know I promised not to make this a thing that I do very often. What is this? That's cool looking. These are some good looking blocks. These factory blocks look really cool. Beautiful, actually. Let's go to plates. I promise not to do this a lot, but I do want to show you how my process is. Alright, first things first, iron plates. We're going to take this off of processing for the moment. Iron plates. What can we make with iron plates? Reinforced storage crates. Not a whole lot of use. Jerry cans. Not a whole lot of use. Not for me. Powered lanterns. No, not worth it. Just put it that way. Don't even bother. Vacuum tubes. Going to be a big deal. Fluid pumps might be a deal. Fluid pipes. I've already learned how to make those. A fluid outlet. Okay, that's kind of cool. I've never made one of those. Let's go ahead and make a pattern for that, just because I want to be able to use it. And I've already made lanterns. Okay, these iron mechanical components are going to be a must-have, so that's going to be a thing. These iron sheet metal are going to be a thing. And I know this is coming from a lot of experience that I have. There's an energy trash can, believe it or not, which is kind of goofy. A regular trash can and a fluid trash can. For looks, there is something that you might want to do. Fluid valve, I'm not going to make it unless it's needed for a multi-structure, which I think it might be. And this brings me back to the engineer's workbench. I'm actually going to put that on AutoCraft because I want to be able to make those when I want. These are really heavily used. Stack limiter, I don't know what that's used for, to be honest with you. I have to take a look. What's this? Generator block? Kinetic dynamo? Copper coil. See how this is all kind of rabbit hole-y, what I do? I don't want to show that on the screen that often, but I do kind of want to explain how I'm doing it. Now these wire, I think wire is going to be the biggest one that's going to cause me to have a headache. And so I'm just going to go ahead and say, hey, make me a stack of those. Let's see how long that takes. Well, that doesn't take long at all. So actually, let's just make, yeah, copper coils, those kind of things. So I'm going to make a whole lot of patterns off camera, and I'll come back and we'll go through and make some things together. How about that? And we're going to do that over here at the compact machine area. I think immersive engineering starts working its way in here and into the village. What do you think? Good idea? I don't know. Let me know down below, and we'll take a look. Let's see how that looks for everybody. Now that we have the engineer's manual and we know how to make plates, and we're going to start working on wire, because that's going to be the biggest thing, is just making wire. Lots of wire. Maybe I should go ahead and make the press, just so that you guys can see how the press works. That's probably a good idea. And I think what I'll do is I'll do that inside a compact machine because it's kind of noisy. And yeah, let's go ahead and go inside there and take a look. So let's go ahead and make an engineer's work table. I want to go ahead and make that workbench. And you'll see it's going to use some of the creosote oil to make the various planks, and the planks going to be made into sticks, and then sticks into tree defense, so you get the idea. It shouldn't take too long for it to craft. The longest wait you're going to have is because you're now filling a bucket with creosote oil to be used in that autocraft. So there we go, advancement, time to tinker. You cannot automate this engineer's workbench very easily, but you can automate it in general. There is an automated version of this that you can make. Let me check it. Workbench. Let's see, workbench. There it is, right here. Automated engineer's workbench. So automated. And that is in the pack. What? That is a multi-block structure. Sorry, it's a multi-block structure. So let's take a look. That's available in Engineer's Manual. Overview and resources, workbenches and blueprints. So you can go through and read this manual, and it tells you pretty much everything you need to know. I'm not going to go into detail. If you want me to, go ahead and ask, and I will literally cover every single thing on here. If that's what you want me to do, I'll even cover the shaders, which I don't use at all. You're just going to have to let me know because it's something I normally don't do. So simple machines, automated workbench, and it's going to show you this picture. Now, closing out this video, because this is nearly the end. You want to make projectors. You only need to make one. And let me tell you why you have to make it. In my opinion, you have to. It shows a bunch of them in here, but you really only need one. So you'll need your treated wood planks, 2 iron, a single lantern, and some glass. So a lantern. Let me make a lantern. So there's your immersive engineering lantern. Make sure that is a immersive engineering lantern, not something else. And you get your single projector. Don't make any more. You don't need to, unless you're going to collect them and put them on the walls or something. So here's how this works. And this was confusing at first. In the picture, you see this being built. Okay? We're going to close the book by escaping out. Take that book, put it in a crafting grid with the projector. This projector then now knows how to make that automated engineering workbench and will project it out into the world. There you go. So There it is. You right click and it will set it in place. I think you can scroll. No, you can middle click. I have mine set for middle click to rotate the block around. But you can choose a different button. I am not going to make the automated workbench right now. There's no real need for it because it's made for when you don't have other mods to work with immersive engineering. So automated workbench, and you'll see that what it does is it allows you to make, whoops, let's just go to workbench. It makes the same thing as the workbench. You just you input items in and then output items on the other side. So here's the things you can make with it. These can be made in a crafting grid. These can be made in a crafting grid. These tubes, I think they can be made in a crafting grid. Same thing with the circuit board. I don't really use any of the weapons stuff, but there's guns, so you can use guns, and they are allowed in the mod pack. They are allowed on the server, so if you want to use them. This is how you get all your different presses for your different press processes. Rod, gears, plates, wire, and I think we're going to do this the wire one. Yep. So what I'm going to look for in here is, and this is going to be under simple machines. We're going to do a press. Really? Should be under simple machines. Tesla coil, cloches. Cloches are going to be really big. I know a lot of people. I'm going to make some cloches. But why is it not here? Is it going to be under heavy machines? Okay, it's under heavy machines. I think that's because it requires steel. And if you don't have steel earlier on, this is a good way to get to steel. Is using immersive engineering. We're not going to do that. So this thing is now programmed to create the hologram of the press. Let's make that happen. There you go. There's a press. Now I'm going to be automating this, so I want it to be not too far away. And if you want, what you want to do is pay attention to the direction of the conveyor belts. Those are very important. And I want it to move this direction. And I want to give it a block of space for a drop off and pick up. Whoops, this way. So input on the back and output on the front, and then it'll import that way. There. So it's going to leave a 3D hologram there. Make sure you have a hammer because that's how you're going to activate this. And what I want is scaffolding. It looks like actually it's going to tell me what I need. So you go back in the book. And if you hover over the question mark, it'll tell you need 2 steel scaffolding, 1 redstone engineering block, 1 piston, 2 conveyor belts, and 1 heavy engineering block. So, steel scaffolding, right here. Oops, steel scaffolding, it'll be on this. It says I need steel rods. Let's see what I got. So let's go ahead and see if I can make some steel rods. Can I just craft them? I can. So let's make a stack because I'm a baller. And so there's our steel scaffolding. Now I know I'm going to need a lot of those, so I'm just going to go ahead and make a bunch. And it said I needed a piston. So there's a piston, a bunch of pistons. And redstone engineering block. Too easy. We'll grab a few of those. Actually, I'm going to grab quite a bit more of those, put those away for later. And then light. If you type in light, you should be able to get another, and light in engineering. So engineering block. So there's your light engineering block. So normally, this is what I meant by you need the workstation. Without this, you wouldn't be able to do this, but boop, there you go. Why bother with the workstation when I can just make a bunch of these? Now, obviously, I ran out of iron plates, and I'll just go ahead and tell it to go ahead and start making iron plates. let's go ahead and make 2 stacks of iron plates and be done with it. So light engineering block. I need quite a few of those. And then I'm going to make heavy engineering block. And that needs steel to make that. And the steel mechanical along with some electrum and some pistons. So let's see, I need the heavy one, steel plates. So that's why we need plates. Hence I started off with plates. I kind of cheaty knew that. Now, no. Steel plate. There we go. Give me a stack of those. Now, there we go. And then I can type in steel component. I'm kind of rushing because I know we're going really long on this video. Okay. These are the things you can make with it. And heavy engineering block is the main one. I don't have electrum, really. Go ahead and make 2 stacks of electrum because I use electrum quite a bit. Let's see how slow that is. Alright, not too slow. Heavy engineering, just make 2 of those. There we go. Alright, so real quick, scaffolding. You place the scaffolding in exactly the spot, you see that it kind of like turns white. And there you go. And then we want our redstone block. There it is. And then the next layer appears. Oh, it says it wants conveyor belts. I forgot about conveyor belts. I have those already on AutoCraft as well, but I also have some because I made them for my previous setup. I was trying experiments. Now, it's really important that they go the direction. You can slightly see the arrow, but it has to go the same direction that it shows in the hologram. So there you see that it's moving the right direction. There you go. Moving the right direction. And then a piston. Now the pistons are probably going to be a problem. Make sure you have some form of hammer or some kind of wrench to turn them. I've never had them work correctly. They always end up wrong. Now, you turn it so it's facing down. And that should be it. Oh, wait, heavy block. That should be it. Okay, what did I do? There. Alright, so there's a heavy block, and it's on, and it shows a green square. It means it's ready to go. You take your engineer's hammer, and you're going to right-click on the center block, and then it's done. Now, it shows the red square because this projector is in your slot, and it's trying to project over the top, and it's saying you can't do it there. So there you go. Now you got your press. What are you missing? Well, your mold. What are you going to want to mold? I'm going to want to mold wire. This is a pain in the rear to do wire. So let's take a look and see. Whoops. Where's that? There it is. Metal press. Now this is where you need your workstation. So let's take a look at what it's going to take to make the molds. Steel plate, some blue dye, and some paper. Really? What in the world? How am I out of lapis? Are you kidding me? Huh. Well, look, we're gonna go over this in the next video, and we'll call it for a day while I figure out what happened to all my lapis. So this is Souls44. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, everybody have a great day, and check out Galactic Chickens. The server is open to everybody to come on in and check it out. Look, you can just come into the server and just have a good time. Just come in there and build like crazy, build some oddities, have a great time. That's what it's all about. There is other things that are fun to do. There's like adventuring type stuff. We're working on some form of Dungeons and Dragons type setup, a little bit of adventure, rewards and quests things. There's just a lot of things that you can do. So feel free to stop on by. Take care. Bye-bye now.